Turning Point Recovery Society is applying to build a 9-bed support recovery home for women in the district of North Vancouver.
My name is Lisa, and I am an addict.
Lisa was born and raised in North Vancouver.
When I was 19 years old, I started working at a nightclub in North Vancouver.
This is where she started drinking and eventually was introduced to highly addictive drugs.
I started out using powder cocaine, and progressed to smoking crack cocaine.
She knew she was in trouble and that she needed help.
I called my brother and I asked for help. He brought me home to North Van, tried to get me some help, which there was none available in North Van. He took me to Lionsgate Hospital. They referred us to Surrey Memorial Hospital, who then referred us to Cordova Detox in the downtown east side, after I begged him not to leave me there. But he said, this is the only place I can take you. So yeah, he dropped me off at Detox. And I left because I was scared. When I left there, I walked out into the downtown east side, so my addiction spiraled even further. I wound up walking outside the doors into the downtown east side where I'd never been before, and ended up meeting the wrong kind of people, I guess. And I ended up even worse in my addiction. I spiraled even farther into addiction. I ended up becoming a prostitute, which was something I never, ever imagined would happen to me. I ended up committing criminal offenses. I never, ever thought I would do. I just ended up becoming a person I never thought I would be. I always thought I would grow up in North Van, and it's gonna make me cry. I just thought that I would live my life in North Van.
She wasn't able to return to North Vancouver because the services she so desperately needed weren't available. Research suggests that had she been closer to home, her life story would have been different.
We believe very strongly in mental health and addiction services in a closer to home approach. We also believe in a system of care that is most natural, that allows for your natural supports to stay with you and to support you in your recovery journey. And so for us, anything that can be provided in your home, in your community, and outside of the medical setting is far more supportive and ultimately successful. It's usually more cost effective as well.
Because Lisa was left to fend for herself in a hostile environment, her road to recovery was a long and difficult one.
Luckily, I'm on a path to recovery, and I somehow miraculously ended up at Turning Point. Turning Point has been so important in my life. It's the only recovery I've ever had that's given me any amount of clean time, that I've ever wanted to stay at, that I've actually asked to extend my stay at more than once. The only place where I've learned to live life again while I'm recovering, instead of being kept inside and sheltered and then put outside and saying, here you go, Lisa, go live life. When the only way I know how to live life now, or prior to Turning Point, the only thing I knew how to do was pick up a telephone and call a drug dealer. If there had been a Turning Point facility in North Vancouver when I needed that help, that's obviously where my brother would have taken me. And the way Turning Point runs their houses, I know I could have recovered. I've recovered at Turning Point. I know I'd still be living in North Vancouver, and I'm sure I'd have my family in my life. Turning Point saves lives.
Almost invariably when we go into community and seek to develop a supported housing option or a group home, whether that's for people with mental illness or addictions or substance use issues, we do find that there's a certain fear in the community that this will be detrimental to them. And overwhelmingly what we find is the opposite, is that either people have no idea after a while that such a supportive home or group home is even in the community, Or in other times, people are saying, I had no idea how much I had to learn, I had no idea what this would actually be like. And they discover that people are functioning, people are contributing, people are becoming a part of their daily life.
And that's exactly what happened in Vancouver and Richmond, where for more than 30 years Turning Point has been a good neighbor, all the while changing lives.